What is up, guys? So we are finally taking on the risky business scenario, and who better to do it with than Peter Parker's Spider-Man. So with the main scheme setup, we put the criminal enterprise environment into play right here. This will enter play with 2 infamy counters. If there are no infamy counters on here, then we flip this over, and we also flip Norman Osborn over to his green goblin side. Okay, and then the main scheme will start off with 2 threat. Norman Osborn here says whenever he would attack, we place 2 infamy counters on criminal enterprise instead. Whenever he would take any amount of damage, we remove that many infamy counters from here instead. Okay, let's shuffle up the encounter deck. And then let's shuffle up our player deck here. And then drawing up to our hand size of 6. All right, let's see what we got. So we got a double. We got Aunt May. Let's keep the Queen carry in case we don't get anything else. And I like the web shooters here too. So let's mulligan discard 2 cards and then draw 2 more. Okay. All right, let's see here. Let's use scientists to generate a mental resource so we can play our web shooters. Let's come in with 3 web counters. Let's flip over here to hero form, and we can exhaust the web shooters and remove a web counter. Actually, we don't even need to do that. Let's just use this as 3 resources so we can play our Quinn carrier. We only play this if we have the Avengers trait. We do have the Avengers trait as Spider-Man here. And then we can also exhaust the Quinn carrier to generate a wild resource so we can play Aunt May. And let's go ahead. What are we going to do? Let's thwart for 1 from the main scheme. And then that's going to end our turn. Let's just ready up and then discard the webbed up and drawing back up to our hand size of 5. Okay, so it is Norman Osborn's turn. He's going to add 1 threat to the main scheme. He's going to attack us. Whenever he would attack, place 2 infamy counters on here instead. So it goes from 2 up to 4. And then, and then he's going to deal us a face-down encounter card, which is all in a day's work. Whenever you place 2 infamy counters on criminal enterprise, you cannot remove 2 madness counters. So we're going to put 2 infamy counters on criminal enterprise. So it goes all the way up to 6 now. Okay. And it is back to our turn. Let's see here. I think we just get down to mansion. Let's use the web shoot to generate a wild resource. Quinn carrier to generate another resource. And then 1, 2. Yeah, 2 more resources here for a total of 4. So we can play Avengers Mansion. And let's exhaust Avengers Mansion so we can draw 1 card. And then let's go ahead and use this as 3 resources when paying for a actually, yeah, it's fine. When paying for a justice card, because the power of justice is a double, so we can play Agent Coulson. Whenever Coulson enters play, search your deck and discard off for a preparation card like Spycraft and add to your hand. We'll shuffle up our deck. Okay, and let's just keep the Spycraft in our hand here. Coulson's going to throw for 2 from the main scheme. And then Spider-Man's going to attack Norman for 2. So instead of taking any damage, we're going to remove 2 counters from here instead as a part of his force interrupt. Well, Coulson should take any consequence damage for thwarting. And that's going to end our turn. Let's ready back up here. And then let's keep the Spycraft in our hand and draw back up to our hand size of 5. Okay, got some swinging web kicks. So Norman Osborn's turn is going to add 1 to the main scheme. He's going to attack us. Whenever he would attack, he places 2 infamy counters on here instead. Then we get a face-down encounter card, which is Pumpkin Bombs. So after the villain attacks, you discard the Pumpkin Bombs and take 2 indirect damage. Okay, and it's back to our turn. Let's use Mansion so we can draw a card. Oof, we got the 3rd swinging web kick here. Yeah, we're not going to be able to. Any amount of damage removed. Yeah, we have to swing web kick to get this thing out. Okay, let's use the Quinn carrier to generate a wild resource. And then, let's see, this would be 2 more resources for a total of 3. So we can play a swinging web kick. and deal 8 damage to an enemy. So instead of taking any damage, we remove 8 counters from Criminal Enterprise. So all 6 of these counters go away, and then we flip this over here to State of Madness. State of Madness enters play with 2 Madness counters, and then we also flip Norman over to the Green Goblin. Whenever you do 4 indirect damage to each player, let's take it all on Peter Parker. So we're dropping from 10 down to 6 here. Okay. And then Peter Parker's going to swing for 2. That'll bring him from 18 down to 16, our first damage to him this game. And then is there a way? Yeah, there isn't. Okay, let's exhaust the web shooters to generate a wild resource. 2 more resources so we can play another swing web kick and hit 8 damage on a Green Goblin. That'll bring from 16 down to 8. And then, let's see, then we're gonna, should we flip down? Yeah, let's flip down here to Peter Parker, exhaust AMA to recover by 4. So that ranges from 6 back up to 10 here. And then that's gonna end our turn. Let's just ready back up. We don't need Coast and Thorpe or do anything yet. Drawing back up to our hand size of 6. Hopefully getting a Moon Girl. Okay, perfect. And we should be getting Nick Fury soon too. So Green Goblin's turn, 1 threat to the main scheme. Then whenever he would scheme, instead we remove 1 madness counter from the State of Madness instead. So he doesn't scheme at all. Then we get a face down encounter card, Goblin Glider, attach the enemy with the highest hit points so he gets it. And then we can spend 2 energy resources to discard his card. If not, he just has a +1 attack here. Okay, so back to our turn. Let's use Mansion so we can draw a card. Can we? I want to try to get into Nick Fury here. Let's see, we can use a Quinn character to generate a mental. Okay, I gotta get Ironheart out and try drawing a mental resource because I don't want to. But we play Ironheart and we don't have the mental that we need. Okay, that's fine. So let's use Peter Parker Scientist to generate a mental resource. Exhaust the Quinn character to generate a mental resource. Ironheart would be a 3rd mental resource, so we can play Moon Girl. Play only you have the champion or genius trait. We do have the genius trait in our alter ego here. After you play Moon Girl from your hand, draw 1 card for each mental resource used to pay for it. We use 3, so we're drawing 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay, no Nick Fury. I have a ton of cards here. We could just actually play a webbed up. Okay, let's have Coulson Thor for 2 from the main scheme to clear that off. Coulson will take a consequential damage. Let's flip over to hero form. We're gonna swing for 2 at the Green Goblin. That'll bring from 8 down to 6. Moon Girl swings for 2. That'll bring from 6 down to 4. Moon Girl would take 2 consequential damage. And then, is there any point in using a webbed up here? I mean, no, there's no real point. Okay, let's use this as a resource to play a second web shooters. This would be for Nick Fury, who's coming up. Comes in with 3 web counters. And then let's use this as a resource so we can play our War of the Great Web. This will give us +3 hit points. So our max hit points go from 10 up to 13 now. Oops, wrong thing. No, that's not what it does. This just gives us the Web Warrior trait. We attach the character with Spider-Man. And when Web Warrior allies play, we get +1 attack until the end of phase. And then we're going to use the Web Shooter here to generate a resource. So we can play Endurance. This is the one that gives us the +3 hit points. So we go from 10 up to 13 now. Okay, we should be getting the Web of Life and Destiny soon. Let's just keep these in our hand. We're going to end our turn, readying everyone back up, and then drawing back up to our hands as a 5. 2 more cards. Okay, we got Lady Spire and SPDR. So Goblin's turn. He's going to add 1 to the main scheme. Whenever he would, no, he's going to attack us. So Spire Sense will trigger when a villain initiates an attack against you. Draw 1 card. So we're drawing a card here, and this happens afterwards. So he's going to do 4 damage. +1 here is base of 5. Let's take it to the face because we have a backflip. So 5 plus a boost of 1 is going to be 6 damage. We will use a backflip here. When you would take any amount of damage from an attack, prevent all the damage. So we're jumping out of the way, taking no damage. Then he's going to activate his Pumpkin Bombs. So after the villain attacks you, discard Pumpkin Bombs and take 2 indirect damage. So we're going to put them both on Spider-Man. We drop from 13 down to 11. And then we get a face down encounter card now, which is Exhaustion, Exhaust your identity, and Surge to a private security specialist. 0 scheme, 1 attack, 4 hit points, and then guard. So while he's engaged with you, we cannot attack the green goblin. Okay, it's back to our turn. Let's use Avenger's Mansion so we can draw a card. Okay, we have a bunch of resources. Should we just get rid of the... Yeah, let's just get rid of this guy. So Moon Girl is going to swing for 2 because he has guard. She takes consequences, she gets defeated. And then I guess we're going to get... so 4 resources here, so we can play... Is it 4? Yeah, it's 4. To play Lady Spider. And then, let's see, well, we just do it. So this will be a double resource, so we can play SPDR now. Lady Spider is going to swing for 2, knock out the private security specialist. She would take 2 consequential damage. SPDR is going to swing for 1 at the green goblin. That will bring him from 4 down to 3. And then I think it's going to end our turn here. Yeah, that's it. So we're going to ready back up. Let's draw back up to our hand size of 5. Do we deck out? We do deck out with Nick Fury. So we get a face down encounter card. And let's shuffle up our discard pile. Back to the deck. Oh, and I forgot. SPDR should take a consequential damage. All right, and then, okay, we're all set here. So Green Goblin's turn. 1/3 to the main scheme. He's going to attack us with a base of 5 plus his boost card here. We draw a card with Spire Sense because the villain initiate an attack against us. Just a webbed up. Coastal will block this. So the boost card is place 1 infamy counter on Criminal Enterprise. We cannot because the State of Madness here. If you cannot remove 1 Madness counter from State of Madness. So we actually remove this instead. And then, so he's still attacking us for 5. That will knock out Agent Coulson. He gets defeated. And then since all the counters are gone from this, we flip this over to Criminal Enterprise with 2 threat. And we also flip Green Goblin back over, which is a little bit unfortunate, to Norman Osborn here. Okay. And then, let's see, then we get a face down encounter card for a total of 2. Right, yeah, the first one is Shadow of the Past. Do we have a cancel? We do not. Okay. So the Vulture is going to come in. He has Quick Strike. He's going to hit us right away. We're going to take 3 damage, dropping from 11 down to 8. Then we also reveal Highway Robbery and shuffle these 3 Nemesis cards into the encounter deck. So with Highway Robbery, this will come with 3 threat. And when reviewed, each player places a random card from their hand face down there. So we're going to shuffle up our hand. And we will get a random card face down underneath the Highway Robbery. Hopefully it's not the Web of Life and Destiny. Okay, and then our last encounter card, because we did a quick strike, okay, is All in a Day's Work. Review, place 2 infamy counters on Criminal Enterprise. So this goes from 2 up to 4, and then that is it. Okay, so it's back to our turn. Okay, we still have the web, so let's go ahead and play the Web of Life and Destiny. Ignore this card's resource cost if your identity has a Web Word trait. We do have the Web Word trait because of the War of the Great Web. When a Web Warrior ally is split, we can draw 1 card with the Web of Life and Destiny. Okay, so let's have Lady Spider, thwart for 2 from Highway Robbery. That would bring this from 3 down to 1. After she thwarts as a response, if we control other Web Warrior cards, we do. With the Web of Life, Destiny, SPDR, and Spider-Man, she can remove an equal amount of threat from a different scheme. So let's take 2 off of the main scheme. And then when she's going to take 2 consequential damage, she gets defeated. And then we can draw a card with the effect of the Web of Life and Destiny because the Web Warrior ally left play. Spider-Man also gets +1 attack until the end of the phase with the effect of the War of the Great Web because the Web Warrior ally left play. We're going to have SPDR, thwart for 2 from Highway Robbery. Clearing this off. When this is defeated, this card goes back to our hand, which is Nick Fury. She's going to take 2 consequential damage. Whenever she takes excess consequential damage, she comes back to our hand with her effect. We draw another card with the effect of the Web of Life and Destiny. And then, Spider-Man gets another +1 attack now. So now we have 4 attack. And then, let's use Avengers Mansion so we can draw another card. So, the Vulture does not have guard. So we're just going to swing for 4 at Norman Osborn. So we take instead 4 counters off of here. And that will flip this back over to State of Madness and flip him back over to the Green Goblin. When reviewed, do 4 indirect damage to each player. So we're going to take them all in Spider-Man, dropping this from 8 down to 4 hit points here. So we're a little bit low. But let's see. We actually got a flip, huh? Okay, let's flip over here to Arch Eagle. Exhaust Animate to recover by 4. That'll bring us from 4 back up to 8. Because I think if we flip him, he deals 4 damage to each player. Oh, and I forgot, this should come with 2 infamy counters. Okay. Next, let's see. We want to get Black Cat. No, there's no point doing that. Okay, let's use, we might as well. So 2 resources, so we can play Black Cat. Whenever she enters play, discard the top 2 cards of your deck. Add each mental resources card to your hand, so we get Ironheart to our hand, which actually helps out, I think. Let's use this as 2 more resources, so we can play Ironheart. Whenever she enters play from your hand, draw a card. Got a webbed up here. Let's see. Let's use a Quinn card to generate. Actually, we won't need this backflip. Let's get rid of it. Let's use this as 2 resources, so we can play SPDR now. Okay, and then we're gonna have Black Cat swing for 1. The Green Goblin, now bring it from 3 down to 2. She doesn't take consequent damage for attack activations. Ironheart swings for 1. That'll bring from 2 down to 1. Should take 1 damage. And SPDR will swing for 1. That'll bring it from 1 down to 0. And then flip the Green Goblin over to his final and 3rd stage here. And then SPDR will take a consequential damage. He has 22 hit points. And his effect is, when reviewed, deal 4 damage to each player. So we take 4 damage on Peter Parker, drawing us from 8 down to 4. And then that is going to end our turn. Yeah, let's keep these in our hand. Let's ready back up here. And we want those swing web kicks. Okay, drawing back up to our hand size of 6. And we should get what we need. Oh, we got Moon Girl. Okay, we're going to have a huge turn here. I think we have the kill shot as well. So it is Green Goblin's turn. 1 threat to the main scheme. He is going to scheme, but whenever he would scheme as a force interrupt, we remove a madness counter. Oh, we actually remove 2 madness counters from State of Madness. So this is going to flip back over here to Grim Enterprise. And then this will flip him over to Norman Osborn. And then this will come in with 2 infamy counters. Okay. And then the Vulture is going to scheme now for 1 on the main scheme. Then we get 1 face down encounter card, which is Regenerative Healing. The villain heals X damage, or X equals to double his stage damage, so he should heal 6, but he's at full hit points, so if no damage was healed, that card surges. You got another Pumpkin Bombs here, so next time he attacks, we discard this and take 2 indirect. Okay, and then it's back to our turn. All right, I think we have a kill shot. Let's use AMA first to heal by 4, just in case. So we're going from 4 back up to 8. Then let's use Avengers Mansion, so we can draw a card. We drew into a Thinger. Let's use Ironheart to swing and attack for 1 at Norman Osborn. So instead, we remove 1 infamy counter from here, and he doesn't take any damage. Yeah, and then Ironheart will take consequential damage. She gets defeated, and she will leave play. Then let's use Scientist to generate a mental resource. This will be 2 more mental resources for a total of 3, so we can play Moon Girl. Whenever she enters play from your hand, we can draw 3 cards because we use 3 mental resources to pay for her. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then let's see, we're gonna flip over here to hero form, and then we're gonna have SPDR swing for 1. So that will take out the last infamy count from here, and then flip this over back to State of Madness with 2 madness counters, and then flip the Norman Osborn back over to Green Goblin here. And then when reviewed, deal 4 damage to each player, so we drop from 8 back down to 4 again. And the SPDR will take consequent damage. She gets defeated here. Whenever she leaves play, we can draw a card with the effect of the Web of Life and Destiny, and Spider-Man gets +1 attack with the effect of the War of the Great Web, since a Web Warrior ally left play. So we have 3 attack. But I don't actually even want to use any attacks. We're just going to play 3 swing web kicks. We have Nick Fury here, but no point in doing that. We could also draw more with the one way or another, but that's okay. So no guard with the Vulture. Yeah, so there's going to be 3 resources. So we can play a swinging web kick and do 8 damage to the Green Goblin. That'll bring her from 22 down to 14. And then we're going to exhaust the web shooters here and the Quinn carrier. So remove 1 web counter for each one of these guys. So that's going to be 3 resources. So we can play a second swing web kick right here. and do another 8 damage to the green goblin. That'll bring it from 14 down to 6. And then this right here will be another 3 resources. So we can play a third swing web kick and hit the green goblin for another 8, and that'll bring it from 6 down to 0. And that is the green goblin risky business on expert mode.